So hey guys, this is Geoff Desmoulin from Deadliest Warrior, and you're listening to the Pizza Games and Zombies podcast.
Hey kids, what are the three basic food groups?
Pizza.
Games.
Zombies.
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 Don't say that. What? The Z word. Don't say it.
You've got this special about zombies coming out this week. It's the season finale, right?
Oh yeah. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah.
Tell me about it. Tell me what's so exciting about it, because I've heard so much.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's the fact that, you know, and I'm not kidding you, we probably get more scientific on that show than we do on any other show that we've ever done, because, you know, there was this edge about the show, right? It's like, oh man, we're breaking away from the traditional matchups, and you know, there was this, you know, this buzz about it because of that, but then we were worried, you know, are we going to lose our core audience? And there's all these questions, right? But because of that, you had that season one, that pilot episode buzz that, you know, you just couldn't stop, and you knew it was going to be awesome. And so I've actually seen the show, and because they wanted us to prep for this live segment tomorrow night, and I can tell you that came off in spades. Everyone brought their A game that day, and, you know, the thought that went into the test and the logic that goes into the test, like, just to give you one example, without, you know, giving away too much, the doctor has a segment where, you know, Max Chalk Talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he goes into strategy and tactics. Okay, well, the doctor is now the expert on the Chalk Talk, and what they talk about is, you know, is it possible for the zombie virus to actually leap? And even though vampires have been, you know, very immune throughout major viruses throughout history, is it possible that the zombie virus could mutate and jump into vampires? And that's at the top of the show. And so he gets into, you know, how viruses, you know, work and how they, you know, infect people. And then he gets into this example of a cross-species virus. And in particular, he goes into the H1N1. It went from, you know, only swines, and now it jumped and mutated and was able to infect humans. And that was the example that he gave to say that, yes, it could be possible that the zombie virus could infect a vampire. And that is all I'm going to give away, but it is much, much more scientific than you think.
Wow, that is fascinating. Yeah. Okay, very cool. So what else about the episode? No, I don't want you to reveal anything, obviously, because we're all excited to see it. But like, what else excited you going into this project? What you know, are you a fan of vampires or zombies?
You know, well, absolutely. I mean, Zombieland was a kick-ass movie. I'm not huge into Twilight, but I love, you know, the modern day. I haven't seen Fright Night yet, but, you know, certainly 30 Days a Night was a kick-ass flick.
Totally.
And you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with zombies or vampires, but I think what excited me and what excites me about the show is when there's something new, you know? It's like, okay, sorry. And there's this, you know, once you've tested a saber and you've tested a saber for a different warrior, it's like, okay, I get it. I know what a saber can do. But, you know, you get a payload of what a vampire can do. You get a payload of what a zombie can do. And you start getting into these things. It's every aspect of that show is new, and that's what really excited me about this show. Is, you know, I can take, you know, my science and engineering where I'm very used to working in the unknown, but, you know, this takes that concept to a whole new level, obviously.
Absolutely. It sounds fascinating. Although I do have one question, and I think we brought this up on the podcast when we were talking about it.
Sure.
In a one-on-one battle, my assumption is that vampire wins. Did you do something to compensate for that?
Look, there's no question. The vampire is the apex predator. It's had centuries of, you know, combat experience. It's you know, got heightened senses. It's like 6 times as fast as a human elite athlete. I mean take Usain Bolt and times him by 6. I mean that's insanity, right? And so how does this zombie, who's literally just roaming around functioning on the most basic brain functions, and that is to seek out and consume flesh so that the virus can be continued, to spread the virus.
Here, wait, hold on 1 second, because the announcer is... Oh, wait, no, she's gone again. Okay, cool. Oh, wait.
Sorry, man.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm glad we had a little extra time, because she's not giving us...
No, much, that's for sure. So did I finish the point there, or I can't even remember?
You were saying about the zombie virus, about how about infecting the vampires and overwhelming them with numbers and things like that.
Well, right. Yeah, exactly. You were saying it on a one-on-one fight, vampire wins, and I'm
right.
Absolutely. I mean, apex predator versus a non-thinking. Very slow but strong animal is just simply not gonna happen. So what we did is we had to design tests to figure out what would be the most fair fight. And so how many zombies now becomes this tipping point do you need to challenge a vampire? And so we answer that question, and I think we do it pretty good. And so what ends up happening is it's the most close fight that we could get based on the test. So we don't allow the zombie, now having said that, we don't allow the zombie virus to spread during the fight, but certainly for every vampire, there's a certain number of zombies that we think is the best matchup.
Interesting. Okay, very good.